Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Crall, and thank you for your interest in learning more about the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is one of my favorite topics to speak about, maybe because it's one of those areas that mainstream medicine just really hasn't come around to accepting yet. The ketogenic diet is one of the most effective ways for losing weight, but it's not just a short-term solution. You can actually live a ketogenic lifestyle over the long term to manage weight. The basic purpose of ketogenic diet is to transition your body into a fat burning state where basically you adapt to using fat as your primary fuel source. We never get to that state because we have so many carbs in our diet, but if you lower your carb intake low enough and keep your protein intake in moderation, your body will transition over a few weeks to where it uses fat as its primary fuel. And as we'll talk about momentarily, the body prefers to use fat as the primary fuel. And basically, when we consume carbohydrates, our body has to produce insulin to bring the blood sugar down. And whenever insulin is floating around in the body to a significant extent, it does not let the body burn its fat stores. So even if you're careful about watching your calories and you're laboriously tracking everything and you're exercising, doing everything you should do, if you get too many of your calories from carbohydrates so that there's more insulin floating around, it prevents you from burning fat. It also has to do a lot with why people will commonly plateau, because they get to a point where the insulin is just not allowing any further fat usage. So when you lower your carbohydrate intake and convert to fat burning, your insulin levels are extremely low, and you basically utilize either the fat that's in your diet or the stored fat that you have for energy. So basically with a ketogenic diet, we're talking about consuming about 75% of your calories from fat and about 20 from protein and 5 from carbohydrate. So I'm often asked, how does this really differ from Atkins? Because it sounds a lot like it. And there's a very important distinction. The Atkins diet has commonly become known as a low-carb, high-protein diet. And many people who go low-carb get high protein. And it's understandable because we've been brainwashed all these years to think that high fat is bad for us. So if you're going to lower carbs, your only other option is to get lots of protein. But the problem with protein is, protein is good, but if you get too much protein, the body breaks that protein down into amino acids and converts it to glucose. So if you're trying to become ketogenic, trying to convert to using fat as your primary fuel, but too many of your calories are from protein, those amino acids will be converted to glucose, and it won't really let you fully adapt to using fat as your fuel. So in general, we need to keep protein intake to about 1 gram per kilogram body weight. So for an example, if your goal weight is 150, that's roughly 65 kilograms. So you would limit your protein intake to 65 grams a day. And we need to keep the carb intake below 20 to 30 grams a day to stay in ketosis.